而在这场选战之后，台湾的局势会有什么样的变化呢？外国媒体他们怎么看？我们接着把时间交给主播刘晨曦。晨曦。
Joining us now is Bloomberg's opinion columnist Tim Colpin. Well, Tim is joining us today because we're going to focus on what the international gazing this weekend. It's the 9-1 election. Why is it important? Because it's related to how Taiwan has its position in the global perspective. And with that, we want to talk about technology. We want to talk about trade and also the business side of Taiwan's connection with the globe. Well, speaking of TSMC's, top-end chips, there's news coming out that the TSMC's founder, Morris Chang, he said that TSMC is going to have a new plant in Arizona, Phoenix. What's your take on this?
Well, the initial plant, we knew it was coming. It's been announced. It's about to be, open very soon. There's going to be a ceremony soon, and that's really on track. And we knew that was going to be 5 nanometer. At the time it was announced, 5 nanometer was new. It was exciting. It was the leading edge. But of course, with Moore's law, a leading edge is only leading for a year or two. So by the time that 5 nanometer factory gets going, it'll already be like a generation or two old. And then there's talk about 3, 2, 1, and other generations will open up in Arizona. And I think the key point we need to think about is exactly when. Morris Chang talked about the next generations that would be available in Arizona. That's definitely good news for the United States that wants to have the leading edge there. But the key is exactly when that's available, because by the time 3, 2, or 1 is available in the United States, that might not be leading edge anymore. So what I think we'll see over the next 5 to 10 years is that TSMC will have probably 2 or 3 generations behind available in Arizona. That is, the leading edge will be still in Hsinchu, Tainan, and Taichung, but then we will see maybe 2 generations after that will be available in Arizona. So it won't be the leading edge, but it'll still be better than probably a lot of what's available in the US anyway.
We also know that there's an announcement that TSMC will have a ceremony of its new plant in Arizona, Phoenix, and on December 6th. Maybe President Joe Biden would be there. He's invited. We don't know if he's going yet, but yes, he is indeed invited. So I wanted to know, what's the vibe that's going around in the international society? How do they see this new plant starting in Phoenix?
Yeah, I don't know whether Joe Biden will be there or Vice President Kamala Harris will be there, but certainly I wouldn't be surprised if the President or Vice President turn up. The CHIPS Act was passed just a few months ago. It was a bipartisan piece of legislation, so the Democrats and Republicans were very keen on it. It's one of the few areas where both sides really agree. There's a lot of money going in from the US government into getting chips going in the United States, and being able to kind of turn up on stage and say, hey, TSMC is here, the CHIPS Act is working, America is back. I think that's the kind of thing that American politicians will definitely want to get behind. They will want to have that photo op. They'll want to be on stage saying, I was there when it happened, I helped make this happen. So it's the kind of thing I would expect that President Joe Biden or Vice President Kamala Harris would want to be there for.
So are both parties welcoming this decision?
Very much so. I think it's something that both sides will want to be able to say it was us that made it happen. The local elected leaders from various parties will also say it was us that made it happen. Everyone will want to take responsibility for TSMC opening up in Arizona.
Now the technology is moving toward the states, of course. The officials in the states might be really happy about it. But what about Taiwan's position? Would it ever be a little bit risky, perhaps?
There's been a lot of hysteria recently, I've noticed in local media and amongst a lot of people saying, the US is going to hollow out America and the US is going to hollow out Taiwan. They believe that TSMC is getting forced to send its best equipment, its best engineers, its best technology to Arizona. I think that's a bit hysterical. I don't think it's really true. R&D will stay in Taiwan for the next 20 years.
Here is a quote from Morris Chang. He said, Taiwan is the only place where TSMC can make such high-end chips. Do you agree with this statement?
Yeah, that's definitely the case, and I think it'll be the case for the next 20 years. I think that Taiwan will still be the real Silicon Valley, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. China is trying to catch up. They're really struggling to catch up. China will definitely be a player in the semiconductor field. field, but it'll be legacy mostly. Korea is really the big competitor more than even the US. But for the next 20 years, Taiwan's still going to be the center of the action.
High integrated supply chain that's related to TSMC cannot be replicated anywhere in the world, right?
I think it won't be fully replicated. I think what we'll see in Arizona is, and possibly even in Europe, and we know that there's going to be a factory in Japan for TSMC, is a little bit of a copying. There'll be some small scale replication. You do still need suppliers, you need equipment suppliers, you need material suppliers, all there close to the factories. That helps the supply chain. But really the heart and soul will still be in Taiwan. And so this replication that would happen overseas would be small scale, not large scale. And so the chances of anyone else replacing Taiwan are really not very high.